around the SEC and around the nation. This is the Saturday Sports Countdown. To be a part of the program, call 256-234-6221. Now, let's join Brett, Randy, and Luke for the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Good Saturday morning out there to everybody, and welcome into the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown. Brett Pritchard and Randy Lee here with you till 9 o'clock this morning. And a great Friday night of football throughout the state of Alabama. College football on tap today. We got a lot to talk about, and we'd love to hear from you. 256-234-6221. Randy, I would say I'm glad to see you, but I just saw you, so it's like I never left. So glad to be up here this morning to celebrate in this area a big victory over the Opelika Bulldogs with our Benjamin Russell Wildcats. And obviously we'll start with high school like we always do for the first 45 minutes or so of this program. We're going to run down scores from throughout the state of Alabama and all the classifications from last night, as our scoreboard show was on the air from 10 to midnight last night. And some surprises out there, some big scores, some big wins for some teams last night.
You know, this time of year I feel like I'm on air more than I'm off. As we get up this morning, I carry my 4-year-old in there to get in bed with my wife, and she's looking at me like, you got to be kidding me.
This is what we do.
It is what we do this time of year, and we love it. 256-234-6221 is our phone number. Give us a phone call. If you were out and about watching high school football last night, our bread is buttered there. And it got buttered well last night as the Wildcats able to take down a very formidable foe over there at Opelika, 19-14, 19-0 with about 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go.
Golly, man.
And Opelika doing what they do. No quit in that community, no quit in that team. They had their opportunities. Return a punt there with 2:50 to go to make it 19-8 after getting the 2-point conversion. Coming back, getting the onside kick. On third down, a freshman quarterback delivering a 49-yard touchdown pass on the deep post, right as he's getting just popped right in the jaw by Jaden Tuck last night. And beautifully thrown football, very impressive right there by that young man. But we held on. Tyler Watts gets the onside kick. Wildcats win 19-14. It was a workmanlike performance on the lines of scrimmage last night. And if Danny Horn could be prouder of a unit, I can't imagine, because when you look across the way at Opelika, buddy, there are Joes and Boes that many won't. But we were willing to match up physically. I remember you saying that before the game, Brett, and I'm going to kick it to you.
Yeah.
Looking over there on their side and looking at ours. It's not taking anything away from ours. It's just the amount of athletes that Opelika is able to pull out, and we're not talking about small 6'2", 180 pounds. We're talking about 6'2", 6'3" sophomores that weigh 220 pounds.
That's right.
You can tell they've been in the weight room. It's a separation. But I told you got to be willing to play physically. Sometimes, you know, Tyree may have weighed 155, 160 pounds soaking wet a few years ago, and he's the best player on the field night in and night out.
Oh, yeah.
Last night, Jaden Tuck, who probably weighs 200 soaking wet, he was the best player on the field on either side of the ball, and that made the biggest difference.
Yeah, that's right. And when we're down there looking at teams warming up, you look at size difference, but then you look at depth. It's not necessarily who you run out there first. It's the depth. And what you look at with Opelika dressing over 90 players and the sheer size, you may have the will to play physical, and you may want to play physical, but boy, when you get in that third and fourth quarter, when they got 3 to your 1 and they're rotating them in and you're having to play more snaps, it can wear you down. With that being said, that wasn't the case last night. If anything, I've seen the first 4 weeks, which, by the way, is crazy. If you want to count week 0, this is week 5 in the books by now. Is that unbelievable?
They roll.
It does. We just never sleep, and it just keeps rolling. But when you look at our program year in and year out, you see teams, and didn't see Opelika really struggle with it last night, and it could have with cramps, that you don't see our program ever. Very rarely have we ever seen. Now, I can remember a few games where it's hit us, but this year hadn't been the case, man. We've been able to get some some depth in some positions this year, which has helped. Coach Horn said, we've got some depth. He goes, we don't have a lot of depth, but we got some depth in some key areas. So we've been able to continue to rotate some guys in and out on that defensive front, move some people around, and it's paid off in the summer workout programs and all that they do. I saw Shundale on the sideline in the middle school game Thursday night when Stanhope was having several kids cramping up, and our guys weren't. And he hollered out like Shundale does, this is why we do what we do in the summer. It's almost like here's a prime teaching opportunity for y'all to see why we get up and we work our tail off in the summers, because you're able to last in the full quarter and they're dropping like flies.
One thing that I noticed last night, I didn't see cramps on either side.
That's what I'm saying. They weren't on either side.
And it was humid.
Very humid.
If there was ever a time to cramp, it would have been last night, and we didn't see it. We did see a number of Opelika players going down last night.
Yeah.
Hopefully they did have one carded off, and we can get some updates over the next week.
That one was
for that
scary.
young man.
That
it was
one
scary. The one optimistic thing that you saw from him is his want to get up. I don't know what all he felt, and no diagnosis right now on exactly what happened, but you could tell it looked like he had movement in all of his extremities, and that was important. But back to the win. It was a 19-14 one. That was only our third win in the last 12, but it's better than the second in the last 11.
That's
and
right.
We'll take it, and you can just watch and you can feel and you can look at the underclassmen that we've got out there playing, which is a number of them.
The gap's closed.
And we've closed the gap, and that's very important. We got to keep it closed, and we got to keep our numbers out, and we got to make sure that we're building off.
And let me just say something. This doesn't mean that this is not meant to offend anybody over in the Opelika area or whatever. But the bottom line is that I watch and you watch kids come up through ranks, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and they play with each other. And then all of a sudden, and you bring 2 or 3 kids in that make a difference. Look, it's part of football, and Opelika's been really good at doing that over the past few years. Jake Bentley's the best quarterback they've ever had over there. He's not from Opelika. He was moved in. You know, they were the benefactor of his father going over.
Auburn University helped both of them.
Well, I was going to say, they were the benefactor of his father being an analyst over at Auburn University, okay? So they move in, and he gets to go play at Opelika High School. There's a lot of schools. Paul Tyson at Hewitt-Trussville. You know, last year Hewitt-Trussville had a very good quarterback, very good team that went 10-0. They lose that team. They lose Igbenyanahade that's down at Auburn now. What do? They just go out and they get Paul Tyson that comes over from Mountain Brook. They go out and get Miles Mason from Pleasant Grove. And the rich get richer. So, you know, in smaller communities where you don't have that opportunity to really bring players in, or people are moving in and out for different reasons, you know, you go with what you got and who's been raised in that community. And I'm proud of our kids. I'm proud of what Benjamin Russell and communities like Benjamin Russell do on a year in and year out basis. They buy into the program, they start young, and they stay the course, and they see other programs that they have to fight. They're equal or better than the kids that they go up with, but then they bring some guys in that are game changers, which that's part of the game, and you have to fight through that sometimes. So with that being said, the point I'm making is, as I look through with my son in the 8th grade and 7th grade, we play even with Opelika these first 2 years. And the sophomore class that's really contributing to this Benjamin Russell class, they've beaten Opelika more than Opelika's beaten them up to this point. That senior class for Benjamin Russell last night, that was their first win ever, 7th through 12th to ever beat Opelika. So you're right, the gap's closing, and you see that, but you can't see for the future who somebody's going to come in or what player's going to come in and make a big difference.
I think you make a very valid point right there, and I will piggyback off of one of your statements, though. Part of the way that you combat that is a culture.
It's a culture.
Built in, a process, a vision of what your expectations are. And you're not going to have a caliber of talented kid that's going to match up night in and night out. But it doesn't mean that kid doesn't think so. And I can remember getting upset with Coach Sav when he's told me, even at an older age, that the one thing that I had to do to y'all was to convince you that wasn't as good an athlete as the one you were matching up with, that you were better than him. Mm-hmm. And it was part of the struggle. You know, it took a little bit. Now that I stand back and I look at some old tape especially, I go, man, I wasn't nowhere near as good.
But you didn't know that at the time.
At the time, I thought I was a lot better
And
than
that's
anybody
all-
I was
you know
going
what?
up
That's
against.
so powerful.
It's a mentality, and I think Coach Horn builds that. These kids gravitate towards a leader, and we've got some great ones here in Alexander City. It was a proud moment last night, a good win, 19-14, but got to move on.
Oh, yeah.
A lot ahead of them, and what's ahead of them, who knows? This has the feeling of a special group.
It does.
And you got to take advantage of these opportunities when you got a group
Still a
that's
lot
just
of tough football ahead.
finding ways to win. Finding
right.
ways to win, and those type of teams don't understand how to lose, and they end up continuing to do that.
And every week it's a different personality and different way, and they understand that last year and this year they have the toughest schedule in the state of Alabama. Take them one at a time. You know, this week it doesn't get any easier. You go from the number 5 team in 6A to the number 3 team in 6A in the Oxford Yellow Jackets, and they have been crushing teams, loaded on both sides of the ball. So you know, we'll be up to the task. They'll get to work on that today. I mean, that coaching staff celebrated last night. They're back over there watching, getting ready to break down the film of Opelika and get ready to start watching Oxford. But that's where we are. And before we go to break, I want to say one part of the game that when you're in control of the game, you don't think the decision might make that big a difference. But then when you know at the end of the game how it played out, you're thinking, man, I'm glad I did that. It was that 4th down when Coach Horn had an opportunity to kick a field goal and go up 13-0 instead of going up,
Go up
16-0 instead of trying to grind it out and understanding where you are in the game and knowing that your team is owning the line of scrimmage and that they haven't really moved the ball on you and they got to drive the field. So I'm going to go ahead and go for this, and hopefully it'll lead to a touchdown, or if at least it's going to chew some more clock up. Man, that decision, which I totally agreed with, if anybody listened to the broadcast last night, thought was the decision that ended up winning the football game.
It was, and I'll close out this segment saying you don't think many people is going to kick it to Presley anymore, do you?
I'd kick it dead out of bounds.
I wouldn't care if I gave up 20 yards. There's no chance 15 would get the football in his hands. He's a game breaker.
Yep.
I don't know where he's going to end up playing.
I'm telling you, if my money, I'd have put him at quarterback, and we'd have been running the Wildcat if I'd have been down to my 3rd option. Let's take a break here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. When we come back, we'll start running some scores down throughout the state of Alabama. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. At Main Street Family Urgent Care, we want you to know one of the benefits of our clinic. We have a self-pay option that allows you to get the most out of your visit. That means you don't have to worry about receiving a large bill after your visit. $125 covers all in-house labs, stitches, x-rays, or injections, and we have a selection of antibiotics available in the clinic. We want you to feel better fast at Main Street Family Urgent Care, open 7 days a week in Alexander City across the street from Walmart. Heal better, feel better fast.
So Dave here is taking the family up to the lake for the weekend, but without the white knuckles this time. Because his new 2018 Ford F-150 has Blitz with trailer coverage. It's Brainiac smart. Not only does it watch your F-150's blind spots, it's got your trailer covered too. One less thing to spoil the weekend. No, it can't make the fish bite, but maybe they'll work on that. This is the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Ready to put some fun in your life? Whether it's Central or East Alabama, North Alabama, West Georgia, or wherever you're from, Fun Carts of Opelika is your authorized E-Z-GO cart dealer that has no limits on a perfect E-Z-GO cart. Whether it's a fully customized cart or a stock-made cart, we'll deliver it on time and at the best price. Fun Carts gives you the service after the sale, so no matter if it's hunting, tailgating, motorhoming, fleet rental, or just a better way to get around, Fun Carts of Opelika has it and will customize it to your needs. Visit us in Opelika or call us or visit online for the best E-Z-GO carts. Put a little fun in your life with Fun Carts of Opelika.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Bice Motors in Alexander City. Brian and his crew offer the latest lines of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram vehicles, as well as the best used inventory around. Guaranteed lowest price. Bice.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Glad to have those two on with us here on the Saturday Sports Countdown, along with all of our other sponsors. Randy, let's start talking about some scores from around the state. And I've got to start with that Spain Park game. I mean, and you look at the score of that the Mountain Brook Spain Park game, 51-50 last night. I mean, those two teams in the Birmingham area, I mean, they had their mind and their goals set on challenging Hoover up there in the 7A. Obviously, both teams have fallen to Hoover, but, man, this Mountain Brook team, obviously not a defensive struggle here, but it was whoever had the ball last.
All right, one thing I take away from this, first off, Mountain Brook coming off that 10-point loss to Hoover is a part of the story. But Thompson beat Mountain Brook. Thompson had them 40-0.
That's right.
When they called the dogs off against Mountain Brook. And this is a Mountain Brook team that puts up 51 last night. I know it's in double overtime against Spain Park, but a great offensive team led by a great running back there in the backfield, and Harold Joyner. What does that tell you about Thompson? That's my takeaway from that football game.
Well, I'll just say something. Thompson won 49-14 over Oak Mountain, and that's
a pretty good Oak Mountain.
No, I know they're pretty good, and you've been talking about Mark Freeman moving from Spanish Fort up to Thompson, and a Thompson program that's really never won a lot. If you look at their history, they're a bigger school up there in the Birmingham area, but you could feel like if the right combination got there, they could do something. Well, again, I'm not being a pessimist, but Tua Tagovailoa's brother moves in, and I mean he's an instant star. I mean he's a talent that any community would want to come. Yeah, absolutely. Your offense is going to be have a shot in the arm when you move a guy like that. They got other pieces. I'm not saying it's all him, but Thompson is a strong team. They beat a decent Oak Mountain team last night. But going back to Mountain Brook, able to rebound and put 51 on the board against the Spain Park team that always is right there. It's always a tough opponent. There's some good football up in the Birmingham area this year.
There's a lot of good football in 7A in general. Alma Bryant takes down Mary Montgomery 34-26. It's Auburn 48, Enterprise 17. Bob Jones 34, Huntsville 20. Central Phoenix City takes down Portal Smith Station this year.
I think it's the first touchdown they've scored.
I think it's the first point they've scored. Central Phoenix City defeats Smith Station 62-7. It's Davidson 17, Theodore 0.
Can I just stop right there?
One thing I'm noticing with Davidson, they're blanking. I'd have to pull up their point, but they must have a superior defense this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously so. And I want to go back to Smith Station, which is one of the top 10 largest schools in the state. What's going on, man? How many years? It hadn't been too many years since Smith Station was on a big run in the state and were playing really good and shutting people down. And I think they narrowly defeated Opelika in a game in Opelika where it was a back and forth. They went on to go a pretty good distance in the playoffs. Man, now they can't even score. They can't even score points, man. I mean, with that many kids and those numbers, how are you that far away from being competitive?
Well, the only guess I can have is you just don't have that set of athletes, or you're just extremely young, and that's the only answer that you can have.
I mean, extremely young would be, whew, I mean, that means I'm talking about like 4th and 5th graders.
256-234, 6221. Love to hear from you. Fairhope takes down Daphne 20-17. Gadsden City 19. Grissom nothing. Hewitt Trustful, that's a juggernaut. 49-0 over Buckhorn.
Well, I mean, was able to talk to on the Inside the HSA this week with a guy from the Trustful Tribune, and talking about this team. I mean, this team went undefeated in the regular season last year, ended up losing to Gadsden City in what would have been the quarterfinals in 7A football, as there are only 4 rounds. I mean, and this team just totally reloads, and it's a whole different set of players on this team as far as the players, the playmakers, and they just and to go along with what they had coming back. So phenomenal team. You and I saw them right out of the gate, the very first high school football game in the state in the Champions Challenge against Pale City. And no offense, Pale City's got a great coach over there in Keith Etheridge, but they weren't even on the same field with that Hewitt Trustful team. I mean, it just wasn't even close. And Paul Tyson he, with ease, as calm and collected as anybody I've ever watched, able to roll the pocket and throw on the run 35, 40 yards downfield with a flip of a wrist. So when you got those kind of players that he's able to throw to in the receiving core and that arsenal of running backs, Hewitt Trustful, look, Hoover, and we talked about it, and he agreed. You know, Hoover's king until somebody decides. We hear this year every year, oh, well, you better watch out for so-and-so. You better watch out for so-and-so. Well, and then Hoover just seems to keep on rolling. Hewitt Trustful's got their opportunity, but nobody's going to buy in until they actually meet and they knock them off.
6 or 8 teams, I think, can win 7A this year.
They can.
Wouldn't be surprised. And there's not many years I've said that over the last 20. It's Hoover taking down Tuscaloosa County 63-0. Jeff Davis 30. Baker 23, McGill-Tulane 35, Foley 13, Mountain Brook over Spain Park in double overtime 51-50, Sparkman 23, James Clemens 6, Thompson 49-14 over Oak Mountain, and Vestavia Hills 32-12 winners over Huffman. Class 6A, Brett, kick it over to you. Let you run down a few of these key scores here in the state, and I'll start it off. Big win for Benjamin Russell, 19-14 over Opelika last night.
Yeah, extremely excited about that win. Clay Chalkville defeated Center Point 45-0. That Clay Chalkville team looks to be pretty doggone strong in 6A. Ramsey 32, Parker 7. Shades Valley defeated Hueytown 30-20. Homewood defeated Helena last night 37-7.
Homewood's undefeated, Brett.
Yeah, they seem to have turned it around a little bit like Benjamin Russell has. You know, Homewood the last couple of years, not so good, and had fallen down a little bit. Just shows you, in these communities, you're going to have the ebbs and flows, but good, strong programs persevere, and they get things back over time. Hillcrest Tuscaloosa defeated McAdory 27-7. Bessemer City defeated Northridge 26-14. Wetumpka defeated Chilton County 56-19. We got to get to a break because we know we got some affiliates out there that we've got to get right to this break. When we come back, we'll continue to run down 6A and throughout the rest of the classifications in the state of Alabama. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown coming your way right after this.
Ask what makes it the best 3 Series ever, and we'll tell you it has more advanced suspension and steering for even more control of the road. And it's near perfectly balanced to put performance first. But ask if we're aware the competition mimics us just to keep up? No comment. The BMW 3 Series.
Visit BMW of Columbus on Whittlesey Boulevard or shop BMWofColumbus.com.
Homeowners all over Alabama have discovered that when you need your flooring clean, whether it's carpet, upholstery, or any manner of hard surfaces, there's no clean like Peaches and Clean. Serving Auburn, the Chattahoochee Valley, Montgomery, Birmingham, and the Lake Martin area. Call 866-837-6937, 866-837-6937, or visit peachesandclean.com. Caring for your floor and a whole lot more.
There's no clean like Peaches and Clean.
TPE Power Equipment is now the trusted name for all your mower and power equipment needs. Whether it's our original Tallahassee location or Opelika location on Fredericks Road, we've got East Alabama covered with the best brands of mowers and power equipment from Husqvarna, Toro, Kawasaki, Echo, and Honda. Right now, get commercial strength Husqvarna zero-turn mowers with our fleet program that offers deep discounts, easy finance, and bonus handheld equipment in one solid package. TPE of Opelika and Tallahassee are the new standard of everything power equipment in East Alabama.
Lake Area Realty is Lake Martin's Century 21 real estate company that proudly serves all the Lake Martin area. Rhonda Gaskin and her staff of caring professional realtors offer full sales for buyers and sellers in the area and can even help you with finding rentals or managing your current property. Whether it's your dream lake home, waterfront property, area family home in town, or just a starter home, Lake Area Realty can handle it all and advise you on all your needs. Buying and selling real estate is important to the professionals at Century 21. Lake Area Realty are your friends in real estate. Call or visit lakearearealty.net.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Farnell Mechanical gives you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable.
Trust Farnell Mechanical to provide perfect air for your family.
What perfect feels like. Lennox.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime at the all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Every new and pre-owned vehicle, just one dime down. Plus credit amnesty. Bring home $350 a week, get up to $30,000 in credit.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime.
10 acres, 1,000 vehicles, just one dime down.
Folks, you've just got to see this place.
The all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Call 800-NEXT-RIDE.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Advanced Heating and Air, your authorized East Central Alabama train dealer. Call Advanced Heating and Air. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown. I'll wrap up some 6A scores here. Bo Nix and Pinson Valley continue to roll. They beat Jasper 35-0 last night. I know I mentioned the Wetumpka score over Chilton County, 56-19. Saraland defeated Robertsdale 51-14. Jack West is the quarterback down there, highly touted, committed to Stanford. They continue to score lots of points. Blunt defeats BC Rain 41-8. Spanish Ford over Baldwin County 51-28, and that will wrap up some scores in 6A. Let me mention one thing as we move into 5A. Randy, Gunnersville defeat Scottsboro 45-0. That Gunnersville team, man, in 5A, you go back, they haven't won any state championships in the last decade, but as a program as a whole, as a team that you look at in 5A football, they've won as much or more than anybody, and they seem to have it going this year. They're going to probably be a tough out in 5A.
Beautiful community.
Oh, yes.
No question about that. A couple of scores of interest here in the local region. Dayville defeats Holtville 48-26 last night. It's Horseshoe Bend over Ranburn 28-15. Lynette 43, Reeltown 20, and Munford 19, Tallahassee 6. We knew that Munford and Tallahassee game would be a big one. Tallahassee ranked in the top 10 in Class 4A. Munford very physical, very athletic, takes that win 19-6. Big win for Horseshoe Bend last night on the road at Ranburn, and Lynette's a juggernaut in Class 2A, aren't they?
In football and basketball. And Lafayette last year was able to knock off Lynette because of one man. Now, Lafayette knocked off a lot of people because of one man last year. But Lynette as a whole, as a team, in that classification of football, And everybody that plays on that basketball team is playing on this football team. So if that tells you, and I'm just going to say this, and I may be off, and I may be totally wrong on this, but I've called Lynette the last 2 years in basketball. I don't know if I've seen a better team from 7A to 1A that walked in the BJCC when it's all said and done. Take all the classifications out. Put them in 7A. Let them play against some of those teams. Good luck to those teams, man. As athletic as they are, as tall as they are, and the way they move the ball, the point guard play and the inside play, man, it looked like a Harlem Globetrotter exhibition.
They haven't had a close game.
It ain't been close, man. And I mean, the speed of the game just really kind of, kind of shocks the other teams that they play. Not to say that they're that much better. They really have proven they're that much better. And, man, the way they're able to get the ball up and down the floor and some of the dunks I've seen the last 2 years, man, I'm telling you, they could be, and they may not win in 7A, but it'd be close. I'm just saying. That's how good they are.
That tells you something when a 2A team plays like that.
But in basketball, it's an equalizer.
Yeah, that's true.
5 guys on 5 guys, and the way those guys play, now depth can kind of come in too when you got some subs. But right now, Lynette, I would just like to see them play some of those larger classification teams, see how they play. But I don't think any of them would want to play Lynette.
Love to hear from you out there here in the local community. If you're out for the Benjamin Russell and Opelika game, your thoughts, well wishes for this Wildcat team as they move on. 256-234-6221.
I don't know if you mentioned this or not out of the gate. Central Clay won 41-6 over Cleveland County last night. Oxford High School wins big last night. And that's Benjamin Russell's next opponent. We'll talk a little bit about the Oxford Yellow Jackets here. It's a team that went undefeated in the regular season last year and got beat in the playoffs. They inherit another great running back on top of the one that they had last year. Munford's a great football team. Well, man, they're probably their best player transferred to Oxford. So that tells you they've got a two-headed monster back there in the backfield. They're really good on defense. They've been shutting teams down. It'll be a challenge for Benjamin Russell. I think Benjamin Russell will be up to it. This team has an approach when they go out that whatever happens in the past, they let it go, and they move on to the next week. You even heard some of the kids last night on TV said, we're going to enjoy this one. It sounded like a coach. We're going to enjoy this one tonight, but we got work to do. We're going to get back to work immediately tomorrow with Oxford. I mean, that's something that you don't see a lot in high school kids and even college kids, especially after a big win like that over a rival game, as much hype and build-up it is. But Oxford, we've had our great moments with Oxford over the last few years, but we had a chance up there last year. We let one get away from us. We had control of the game. And last year our problem, and Coach Horn, if he were here, he'd say this, we played great in the first half, and we forgot to come out in the second half. And he said he'd never had a team ever that came out of the locker room and didn't play in the third quarter and kind of worked their way out of a football game. Well, it's not the case this year. This team is a four-quarter team. They're going to fight you all the way to the end. And, if we can get a lead on Oxford this year, I like our chances. But this is going to be another four-quarter ball game.
I think if you look down at the rankings, we'll probably be somewhere between 5 and 7 next week in Class 6A. And Oxford's what, 1, 2, or 3?
They're 3 right now.
They're a juggernaut. They've got a great program. They've got good skill position players. They had a sophomore running back last year that went for over 200 yards against us.
And then you add this other one.
Very impressive school, very impressive program. One of those programs that we are as well.
That's right.
One that has won a lot of football games over the history of their program and have had some really good coaches, one being like John Gross that's over at Jacksonville State right now.
They had Josh Niblett up there.
One being Josh Niblett as well that's currently the coach at Hoover. They can go out there and get some of the best in the state, and they've been able to do that. And the way that they've been playing the last couple of years proves that they got a great one right now.
I think when you pull into the city limits of Alexander City and you pull into the city limits of Oxford, if you're a coach that's out there looking, if you're a really good coach and you want to go and coach somewhere and raise your family, I think you look at either one of those communities and go, man, strong tradition, but great schools, great community, great surroundings. That's where I want to raise my kids, my children. So I think when you pull into a community and you look at that, that's what makes these football programs strong. Is the community makes them strong, the support makes them strong, and I'm just excited and blessed that you and I grew up in a place like that. That you don't really have a choice sometimes in where you grow up and where you're born and all that. We were blessed, like a lot of people, to be born into great communities that have a lot of passion about their education system and about their athletics. And they go hand in hand. It's not just about athletics, but athletics is such a big part of the education process and teaching these kids what it's like to kind of persevere through issues and problems, and things aren't always going to be easy and always going to go your way. You might get injured. How do you battle back from that mentally and to get back on the football field? All that goes hand in hand to making somebody well-rounded. And so I'm excited that, and I always pull for programs like Oxford because you want to see them be successful. Opelika, yeah. That's what makes it a rivalry game. And we weren't fulfilling our obligation of winning our fair share last night. We changed that. We flipped it. And I feel good with the years coming up with what we've got in the program and our ability to compete moving forward. We'll go ahead and take another break. We come back. We'll close out the high school blitz with some more scores and get ready to talk some college football. Stay tuned for the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Sunshine Heat and Air. Right after this.
Ask what makes it the best 3 Series ever, and we'll tell you it has more advanced suspension and steering, or even more control of the road. And it's near perfectly balanced to put performance first. But ask if we're aware the competition mimics us just to keep up? No comment. The BMW 3 Series.
Visit BMW of Columbus on Whittlesey Boulevard or shop bmwofcolumbus.com.
Homeowners all over Alabama have discovered that when you need your flooring clean, whether it's carpet, upholstery, or any manner of hard surfaces, there's no clean like Peaches and Clean. Serving Auburn, the Chattahoochee Valley, Montgomery, Birmingham, and the Lake Martin area. Call 866-837-6937. 866-837-6937. Or visit peachesandclean.com. Caring for your floor and a whole lot more.
There's no clean like Peaches and Clean.
TPE Power Equipment is now the trusted name for all your mower and power equipment needs. Whether it's our original Tallahassee location or Opelika location on Fredericks Road, we've got East Alabama covered with the best brands of mowers and power equipment from Husqvarna, Toro, Kawasaki, Echo, and Honda. Right now, get commercial strength Husqvarna zero-turn mowers with our fleet program that offers deep discounts, easy finance, and bonus handheld equipment in one solid package. TPE of Opelika and Tallahassee are the new standard of everything power equipment in East Alabama.
Lake Area Realty is Lake Martin's Century 21 real estate company that proudly serves all the Lake Martin area. Rhonda Gaskin and her staff of caring professional realtors offer full sales for buyers and sellers in the area and can even help you with finding rentals or managing your current property. Whether it's your dream lake home, waterfront property, area family home in town, or just a starter home, Lake Area Realty can handle it all and advise you on all your needs. Buying and selling real estate is important to the professionals at Century 21. Lake Area Realty are your friends in real estate. Call or visit lakearearealty.net.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Farnell Mechanical gives you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable.
Trust Farnell Mechanical to provide perfect air for your family.
What perfect feels like. Lennox.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime at the all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Every new and pre-owned vehicle, just $1 down. Plus credit amnesty. Bring home $350 a week, get up to $30,000 in credit.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime.
10 acres, 1,000 vehicles, just $1 down.
Folks, you've just got to see this place.
The all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Call 800-NEXT-RIDE.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown. Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee here with you. Going to close high school part of this show out here with this segment. I do want to go back. I want to thank Justin Clayton for going back through history and looking at Smith Station, and I did ask you a question about how has Smith Station not been able to win more this year, or why are they not more competitive? The size school that they are. That 2013 team was one I was talking about. 10-3, went to the third round of the playoffs and lost to McGill-Toolen 28-21. Still didn't win their region that year. The last time they won their region was back in 1997. They went 9-3, lost to Blunt in the second round, but just not historically good records. I mean, a bunch of 4 and 6s, 3 and 7s, 2 and 8s.
They're stuck over there in the regions, like looking at Thompson's record. Sometimes you can get caught up and you can go, my gosh, it's a struggle. Pelham, somebody like that. But
look around who's around them.
All the programs around them are just juggernauts that
Phenomenal.
care and really take football seriously. And sometimes you'll get a Tyler Watts like Pelham had back in the mid to late 90s, and you'll have your opportunities. But for the most part, you're matching up with Hoover and Mountain Brook and Homewood and Vestavia year in year out. I mean, good luck beating any of them. That's
it. Every week it's it's a game of the week. Beauregard 47, Talladega 6. Beauregard got started late in that game, or it took them a little bit of time to get off to start. Ended up cruising over Talladega there. That's another opponent of the Wildcats. So the Wildcats still have Minor, who was a very good football team last year. Oxford coming in this coming up week at homecoming. For the Wildcats, a very good football team, one of the best in the state, and then Beauregard to close it out at the end.
LaDamian Webb 6 touchdowns last night.
I mean,
put on a show.
Well, I mean, are you shocked? I mean, Lord of mercy. And the game plan for them in the state championship was spin around. I could have played quarterback. No offense for Beauregard in the state championship. Spin around and hand it to LaDamian Webb 54 times in that game to see if we could. I mean, and they knew, and Winona knew what they were going to run. They knew exactly what was going to happen, and they said, look, we're going to hand it to him 50 times. If you can stop him, you can win the state championship.
One of the best high school running backs you've seen?
Yeah, I mean,
have you seen one much better?
I hadn't seen one that takes hits and absolutely does not go down. He is not going to go down on initial contact. I don't think I've ever seen, and I've called several games now with him, where somebody comes through the line of scrimmage and is able to take his legs out from under him. He's like Gumby and Pokey. I mean, it's like his leg kind of stretches out and he just kind of finds his balance. He's got a low center of gravity. I'm going to brag on a kid right now, and I'm not saying I'm not going to try to set up some type of unrealistic expectations. But we have an 8th grader here in DeMarcus McNeil, Randy, that is almost the imps of LaDamian Webb in size, his calves, his legs, and everybody's like, man, he's talking about an 8th grader. Hey, Nick Saban recruits 8th graders, so don't think that if you're not good enough, you can be recruited now. But DeMarcus for our 8th grade team is a shorter running back, Randy, but is well put together already. You can tell he's going to put on a lot more weight, but he has got 2 or 3 more gears that other people don't have on the field. Well, that's what LaDamian Webb has. And when you hit DeMarcus in 8th grade, he don't go down. He just bounces off of you. It's like he's made of some kind of rubber. And then when he wants to be physical, he'll lower his headgear and run over you. So LaDamian Webb's the same kind of guy, and I'm hoping and praying to Marcus. I remember you, buddy, when you were 10. We had you in Little League. I hope you become LaDamian Webb, because that's some great footsteps to follow.
LaDamian's going to end up with probably 10,000 yards rushing in the state. Is that right?
He's a workhorse, and Beauregard, they tell you, I mean, they would tell you that right now that they are fortunate to have a running back they can just turn around and hand the football to, and it can get it done, and you don't have to do a lot of special things. They do have some talent on that offense. Obviously, the offensive line's getting the job done up front, Randy, for Beauregard. We thought you wanted to highlight our offensive line last night, because that's really where the game was won. Well, obviously, Beauregard right now, LaDamian Webb gets his name in the paper. Like you said, David's name will be in the paper today. But it's offensive line. And even with a team like Beauregard, when teams know they're going to run it that much, they're still getting the yards and touchdowns. So Beauregard's offensive line deserves a lot of credit.
Well, here's the thing about Beauregard. They've been winning, too, without him. You know, they put together the last, 12, 15 years?
That's right.
They put a winning product out on the field.
Yeah.
That community, and that's Opelika.
Well, we saw that program building to a crescendo that we saw last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
To a state championship. We were like, when's it going to happen? and it happened last year.
Quick update is before we go to our next break, just a little bit on the Benjamin Russell High School Oxford Series, which will be homecoming for the Wildcats this upcoming week against a top 3 ranked 6A opponent in Oxford. This will be the 20th meeting between Benjamin Russell and Oxford. Benjamin Russell has won 10 of them, Oxford 9. This is starting to sound like a little bit the imps of what you saw with Opelika.
Here we go.
Benjamin Russell scored 389 points to Oxford's 359 points. And over the last, let's look back to 1998. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games since 98. Benjamin Russell is sitting there with 5 wins and Oxford sitting there with 4. So even back to the late 90s, and many of these games have been extremely close football games. 14 and 15 were 2 of the better teams that the Wildcats put out there on the field. They showed up in that one. Last year, a 29-21 win for Oxford on the road. Good football team that went 10-0 in the regular
I expect
season.
something very similar to that.
Yeah, I agree.
This coming up week, Friday, probably a 29-type 21 win for either team, depending on who takes care of the football and who can control the line of scrimmage. That's what it's boiled down to so far through the first half of the season. Benjamin Russell opportunistic, turning the football over. Two key points that you said at the end of last year that you said going into this year that I've had in my brain since the start of the season. Can we get behind the line of scrimmage and get some plays in the backfield, tackles for loss, some sacks? And can we turn the football over? We weren't doing a very good job of turning the football over. We're turning the football over now and getting extra possessions. Last night was a clean game, though. We did put the ball on the ground right at the end, but was able to recover it. Opelika played clean. We played clean. So you looked at score outside of the penalties for Opelika, and Opelika shot themselves in the foot. But we've had those games, too, where we've done it. So it all plays out. But neither team turned the football over in a hard-hitting, fast-paced game last night, a blue-collar type game. So that's one of those things that you look at. But I'm excited once again. Look, I'd rather have it that way. I mean, no offense to some of these other teams, but like in college, when you're up for a big football game and then you got somebody else coming in the next week that might be an FCS opponent, you're like, ugh, I don't really want to go. I'm not want to get up for it. You beat Opelika. Who do you follow it up with? Number 3 team in the state. You got another great football game. All eyes will be right back on the Sportsplex again around the state of Alabama to see what this Benjamin Russell team can do with this Oxford team.
We'll catch up with Luke Robinson here in this next segment, kind of move into our College Blitz portion of the programming. If you're just finding us out there, Sports Blitz, we've been around for about 12 years now, Brett.
That's right.
I want to thank JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air here in the local Lake Martin community for being our corporate partner. But if you're finding us, hopefully some great news coming as we continue on as well, and continuing to add affiliates. Our AHSA radio network continues to grow out there, and we know a lot of you are finding us there, and we're going to continue to try to put it on different mediums and do different things and keep up with the Joes.
Expand. That's exactly right. We're going to take a break. We come back, we'll have Luke Robinson on the phone with us. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Why buy your next car from Lynch Nissan of Ard?
U.S. AmeriBank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, U.S. AmeriBank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the U.S. AmeriBank difference. U.S. AmeriBank, banking on values. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-5252
4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Now is the best time to see the good guys the locals know, Alex City Marine. With last year being our best year yet, Landau Pontoons has increased Alex City Marine's allocation of Landaus for the 17 season. Our Suzuki outboard selections are at an all-time high. Alex City Marine is now also Lake Martin's exclusive Manitou pontoon dealer with a full line of the luxurious Manitou Tri-Tune with patented V-Tune technology for top performance. Get the best selection now of Landau and Manitou pontoons. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your express way to saving.
In car ads, what is this? It discloses what you're not going to get that you thought you were. At Hyundai of Auburn today, buy a Santa Fe SUV. Get $4,250 bonus cash, period. Here's our disclosure.
Hyundai of Auburn's your straight talk dealer. $4,250 to spend however you'd like. Plus, most Hyundai of Auburn cars are built locally. Free major repairs for 10 years, supporting the local economy and thousands in bonus cash to spend. Compare HyundaiofAuburn.com.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Satterfield on Highway 280 in Alex City. Satterfield is the Lake Martin area's Big Green Egg and Accessories headquarters.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill, Sunshine Heating and Air. Glad you joined us here. We will slide out of high school now into the college Blitz portion of the program. I want to welcome in our good friend and co-host of all of our programming, Luke Robinson, on the phone with us this Saturday morning. Luke, happy Saturday to you.
Happy Saturday to you guys. It's already pretty and hot here in Nashville.
I'm telling you, we were spoiled the first 3 weeks of football season with actual fallish type weather, and then now summer has found its way back to the south. So I know you're in Nashville today, and it's hot all over the south, back in the 90s for temperature wise. We'll start and talk about some Alabama football today as you're in Nashville for this Vanderbilt football game, and just talk about right out of the gate, who would have thought. I think Alabama, everybody would have thought they would have been undefeated, but this Vanderbilt team undefeated and looked pretty doggone good doing it.
Well, yeah, they look good, I think, by Vanderbilt standards. I mean, I could paint a really rosy picture and try to set this up as a battle of two unbeatens, but I also want to be frank and say Vanderbilt beat, I think it was Alabama A&M, who's just really bad. I mean, they're not very good at all. Vandy does lead the country, I think, in points given up on defense, and they lead the country in yards given up, perhaps. So they've got some really nice stats behind them, but they also played a Kansas State team that is not great. It's not a vintage Bill Snyder team. And Kansas State, frankly, had Vandy beat on several occasions. And their own penalties brought back touchdowns at least twice, once on a scoop and score and once on a punt return. So, look, I know CBS picked this game. I think CBS picked this game only because they didn't think at the time Mississippi State was going to beat LSU. If they had known how LSU was going to look last week, I think they definitely would have taken the Mississippi State-Georgia game. I have a feeling, guys, that this is going to be a big-time win for Alabama today. Vandy was so excited after their win last week, and I'm not sure they're going to know how to deal with the emotion. After getting a big win, I mean, I don't want to take away credit from Vanderbilt. They got a big win for the first time since, like, the 1940s, where they beat a ranked non-conference team in the regular season. Okay, that's a big deal for Vandy, and I'm proud of them. I'm happy that Vandy's doing well. But they're not going to be able to deal with the emotion 2 weeks in a row, I don't think. I think this is going to end up getting out of hand pretty quickly.
Well, you brought up something I wanted to say, too, and you watched the recap last week of Vanderbilt, Kansas State. Kansas State actually did take the lead twice in that game. Penalties brought those scores back, Luke, and you're right. So it's kind of smoke and mirrors. They were the benefactor. At the end of the game, obviously they won. That's all that matters, but against a team like Alabama, they're just not going to have that many opportunities, I don't feel like, and I think they're just going to be tremendously overmatched. I told Randy before the show started that Alabama would win this game big, and I'm still sticking with it, but it does set up on paper to look decent because both teams are undefeated. Let's kind of move ahead with Alabama football past Vanderbilt today. What is it about this team? I know they gave up 24 points against Colorado State, but what do you see so far in the early part of this season? What's your analysis of this Alabama football team?
Brett, what I don't see is an alpha dog. I don't see a Reuben Foster. I don't see a Rolando McClain. I don't see a C.J. Mosley. I don't see somebody that tells everybody else when they're not doing their job. And the standard by which they should be doing their job is a very high standard. So, I mean, almost on every play then. If they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, I don't see the guy pointing to them and saying, you're going to go do this, or I'm going to take you out of the game. You don't have to worry about the coaches doing it. I'm going to do it. And I don't think Alabama's got that guy this year. Minka Fitzpatrick, I love him. He's fantastic. He's going to be a first-round NFL pick. Same thing with Deron Payne, but they aren't quite as vocal. And it's also a little bit tougher. I mean, in rare circumstances, do you have a defensive lineman, like an interior defensive lineman, who can be that guy? Typically, it's a safety or it's a linebacker. And I don't see the guy who can do that. I mean, I was hoping that was going to be Rashaan Evans, but he's been hurt. I had hopes for Sean Deion Hamilton at one point, but he's a little bit more mellow. He's great. He's a really good player, but he's just a little bit more mellow. He doesn't have that alpha dog attitude that somebody has always had for the Crimson Tide on these great defenses. Now, the one thing that concerns me mildly, and this is, I mean, people are going to roll their eyes, maybe think I'm sort of doing a reverse jinx or something, but this is true. I'm worried that we're seeing a slow drip of decline in Alabama right now. Like, it's not going to be, the bottom's not going to fall out like it did maybe with Miami of Florida or some other dynasty that we've seen. But what I'm worried about is, where are those defensive linemen that are so incredibly big and dominating, and they just own the line of scrimmage? Where are those guys? I mean, Raekwon Davis, I have high hopes for him, but it hasn't really come together yet where it's consistent. And so that's what worries me. Now, next year, some of the linebackers that Alabama recruited, like a Chris Allen, like a Dylan Moses, like a Markel Benton, maybe those guys, Vandarius Cowan, maybe they step into the role, and maybe I'm just overblowing this. But I have definite concerns. The good news for Alabama, they're still better than everybody in the SEC. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't think anybody's going to challenge me for that. And I would say they're better than 98% of the teams in college football. I think Ohio State, man for man, could match them. I think Clemson, man for man, could match them. Penn State's probably close. Oklahoma State, definitely. I think Oklahoma State may be the best challenge of all. But all those teams could challenge them, and then it just comes down to a matter of coaching. But this year in college football, all the way around, Brett, I haven't seen anybody that looks like a dominant team. Like Alabama and LSU in 2011, they look like the best two teams, clearly. I mean, all year long. This year, I don't see that. And I'm including Alabama in that list. I think there are 6, 8 teams that could win it all, and there are 5 or 6 teams that could match up with Alabama. That's saying a lot.
Luke, last question for you is we got Luke Robinson on the phone talking a little Bama Blitz right now. And the final question, though, give us your prediction. It was amazing last weekend. I asked you the same question, and you could not have – you almost said the score exactly right. And when I looked down and I saw the final score, I said, Luke couldn't have possibly have said this one any better. So a prediction on Alabama and Vandy today.
Well, I'm going to say 45-3, and I'm putting 3 on the board for Vandy because – I think Alabama gives up 3 late. Look, Alabama had or they were going to have a team meeting. If y'all remember after the game last week, Sean Dan Hamilton very famously said, we're going to have this big team meeting. We're going to get together. First of all, my information is that team meeting got quashed because that's sort of silly. I'm not a big believer in team-only meetings. I'm just not. I think they're all for show. They don't really do much, and they speak to a bigger problem of chemistry within the team. And so I think Saban quashed that. But I also think, and I have pretty first-hand knowledge on this, practice was a bear this week. And I think Saban tried to reemphasize exactly who Alabama is, what they want to do. And I also think it's a bad combination for Vandy coming off a big win, publicly challenging Alabama very stupidly, frankly. And Vandy just doesn't have what people think they have relative to a 3-0 team. So I think this is going to be a big-time win for Alabama. That's just my thought.
Yeah, I'm with you, Luke. I think it's going to be a blowout, and I think it'll probably be right around.
Guys, before I go to, can I say a couple other things?
Yeah, real quick.
Against the break, but
yep.
You talked about Thompson earlier, and you were talking about Toya Tagovailoa, who is awesome. He had over 400 yards passing last night. I mean, he's establishing himself as maybe the best quarterback in that 2019 class with Bo Nix and with Paul Tyson. That's ridiculous, number one. Number two, that Thompson team, a lot of people don't know, they also have Thomas Raham's son on that squad. So he's a linebacker. He's been picking up some nice offers here of late. So that is a team that is not just a one-man show. I mean, if you watch Tagovailoa's highlights, my goodness, they've got some receivers that can go out and hit the ball. So I feel like they're going to be a tough out in 7A. And then the other thing, I can't wait to hear you guys talk about Trey Williams being out for Auburn today, apparently. That's the new rumor, and nobody really knew about that. Frankly, I don't think it's going to matter in the score. I think you'll see a mild drop-off in how much Auburn beats Missouri by because Missouri's terrible. But I think it also it just speaks to how in the world is everybody just hearing about Trey Williams being hurt last night and this morning? I mean, did you all have any inclination he may be out this week?
Yeah, I knew all about it on Monday. And
did you really?
Oh, yeah. I didn't. I mean, yes.
Okay.
Seems like a slight.
I haven't heard a thing about it all week.
A slight neck injury.
It sure looked like the rest of Al Gore's internet was surprised by it last night. I just thought it went back to sort of the clandestine nature of Gus Malzahn.
Well, let me say this, Luke. I shall not reveal my resources out there, my sources that are passing these things along. But
he's been dead on every time.
Unfortunately for us Auburn fans, if you think that it's going on at Auburn, it's probably worse than whatever you're thinking.
That's right.
So I'll leave it at that, my friend.
Luke, thanks so much, my man. We got to run. Thank you, buddy.
Hi, buddy.
Appreciate it so much. We got to get to break. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Resources.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
At U.S. AmeriBank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, U.S. AmeriBank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the U.S. AmeriBank difference. U.S. AmeriBank. Banking on values. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control company for a generation, and now we're proud to announce our new name, EnviroCare. You can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs and EnviroCare's exclusive SentryCon termite colony elimination system that provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. The EnviroCare SentryCon termite protection protects your home year-round. Call the professionals of EnviroCare throughout Central East Alabama. Call for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
A1 Four Seasons, a division of Jackson Refrigeration, is Central Alabama's Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer. With the summer months approaching, the temperatures are rising, and so will your power bill if you don't have one of the latest 410A heat pumps. With R22 Freon prices on the rise, now is the time to make the switch to a new, more efficient unit that will save you hundreds of dollars on your yearly power bill. Call A1 Four Seasons at 256-234-4457. What's behind the CA?
A world full of opportunities.
Where are you now? Where are you going?
Where do you want to be?
These are all important in determining your path in life.
More importantly, why be ordinary
when you can be extraordinary?
At Central Alabama Community College, you can be anything you wish to be.
Don't put your future on hold and don't settle for less than excellence.
We are Central Alabama Community College.
Central to you.
Central to your success.
And I know when I need it, I can count on you. Like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh.
You can count on the caring team at Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation. Our services include physical, speech, and occupational therapy. Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation, 256-329-9061.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Alex City Marine, the Lake Martin area's premier new and used boat and motor dealership. Find out more at alexcitymarine.com.
Yeah, we got fired up a little bit in the break here, talking about Auburn football, and it didn't take much nowadays to get me fired up. I want to start with one thing I said on the Auburn Blitz this week, and you know, you look around the SEC, and the SEC used to be a league where you went down and 10, 11 teams had coaches that you would take, and you were like, man, that, you know, it was just an iconic coaches league. You looked at the SEC and you had Spurrier, you had, laugh at Phil Fulmer if you want to, but I mean, look what he did. And then, you look at all those coaches that have come through, and I think the SEC is in a situation right now where they have a lot of unproven coaches. They got some big names out there, but as far as accolades and as far as stuff to put down on records, it just doesn't come out on paper. There's two guys right now, in my opinion, that are true leaders of their programs. One, obviously, is Nick Saban. The other one's Dan Mullen. He does more with less year in and year out at Mississippi State. Say what you want to. And I know they had an off year last year. But for the most part, that guy's averaged about 8 wins a season at Mississippi State, and he kind of took them to another level. Now, we've looked at the Mark Ricks of the world in Georgia, and it wasn't good enough for Georgia fans. We ridiculed them as a program, but that man only averaged 10 wins a season. You don't get that very much anymore. For some odd reason, Mark Richt could never win the game to get them over the hump, but he had a really successful program. And, Andy and I talked about it this week. In this world now, not just in football, it takes a big, strong leader to really keep a program in a situation where they're competitive and they have a standard that people buy into year in and year out, because you got all these external factors that come in that can cause cracks in the foundation. You got to have a strong leader and somebody that buys in. And right now I don't see any leaders anywhere in the SEC outside of really Dan Mullen and maybe Nick Saban. We don't know on Kirby Smart yet, Randy. It's too early. Maybe he will emerge as that guy. But Will Muschamp, they just lost to Kentucky for the 4th straight year. Nobody buying that. Jim McElwain, I don't know what kind of charmed life or deal with the devil he's struck, but he finds a way to sneak out a win. If they lose to Tennessee, they're probably calling for his head. Butch Jones is terrible. I mean, Derek Mason is doing a phenomenal job at Vanderbilt right now. But I think
let me don't forget that Franklin won 9 games back-to-back years at Vanderbilt.
I agree with you.
It's been done recently.
No, I'm going to say what I was going to say is Derek Mason, the jury's still out.
Yep.
We'll see more today where their program is. My point is LSU's got a coach nobody wants. Ole Miss is in shambles. We thought Hugh Freeze might have been that guy. Then you pull the rug up, and how many roaches came scurrying out from that rug? Auburn does not have a leader in Gus Malzahn. He's not a he's not a guy that I don't think anybody wants now. And it's funny, Andy started laughing. He said, "Can you imagine after 13 we were concerned about the NFL coming calling?" You know, everybody is looking so hard for that next leader, that next great coach. Randy, you want to know where these contracts come from? Some of these things are stupid. There's no explanation for it. But when you have a coach that has a little bit of success, people go, "Man, there ain't nobody coming in here getting this guy. I'll throw whatever it is," thinking, "Oh, we found the next guy." Well, Malzahn comes in 13 and does a pretty good job, gets us to the national championship game, and it's been downhill ever since. No leadership skills. Players getting in trouble year in and year out, players quitting, nobody's buying in. That's a sign of weak leadership and people not buying in. There's not many leaders in the world today. It takes a special person to be a leader. But right now in college football, in the SEC, which is supposed to be the strongest conference, I don't see very many leaders out there.
You can say what you want. You can be an Auburn fan and get tired of hearing the process. But if you don't have a vision, if you don't build a culture, I don't care if it's in football, if it's in business, or whatever you're doing.
Bingo.
If it's in education.
Bingo.
If there's not someone up top saying, "We're going this direction and you're going to follow me, and if you don't, you're getting off the bus," no pun intended, then you won't see it. And unfortunately, you're exactly right. There's just not many of them that'll stay the course. And it was part of the biggest complaint I had here early in the season when you take Chip Lindsey that's down on the sideline for a game, and then one loss in, you're going to send him back up to the press box. The problem is it gives off an aura of
indecisiveness.
I'm not sure. First off, did you not make a decision in the summer that there was a reason that you're doing something?
Exactly.
Back again to my vision. You know, either you're going to have something that sets in place or you just going to move all over the place.
Just fair weather.
Every time something doesn't go your way, you're going to make a change, hoping that you get something, a different result.
And last year, Gus Malzahn was lucky. Let's just be honest. He found Petway by accident. And he found Petway, and he's like, "My God, I found somebody, man, we're going to run him to death for 6 games. We were one of the best teams in college football," until he blew his hamstring out against Vanderbilt. I mean, he's doing it again this year. I mean, I don't understand his whole mindset. You got guys on the bench over there that you can rotate in and out, and he's got a Cam Petway that's still hurt, and he runs him 34 times against Mercer. I mean, you ran him in the ground last year. Give him a break. He's not back healthy yet, and he's out of shape. Are you watching the same thing I'm watching? I don't know. We're going to keep talking. We've got to get the break on this, but we're going to keep rolling with this because I got a lot more to add on this. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
So you want to build a home? Build the home you want with America's Home Place. Choose from over 150 floor plans, then personalize. Tile backsplash with granite countertops? Done. A spacious bathroom you've always dreamed of? You got it. Choose every detail, floors, cabinets, even the paint color.
How about electric lime?
Can't decide? Relax. At America's Home Place, we take care of it all. It's your home. Own it. America's Home Place.
Now is the best time to see the good guys the locals know, Alex City Marine. With last year being our best year yet, Landau Pontoons has increased Alex City Marine's allocation of Landaus for the 17th season. Our Suzuki outboard selections are at an all-time high. Alex City Marine is now also Lake Martin's exclusive Manitou pontoon dealer with a full line of the luxurious Manitou Tri-Tube with patented V-Tune technology for top performance. Get the best selection now of Landau and Manitou pontoons. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin.
Whether it's a dream house or corporate real estate, Concrete has the skill, expertise, and talent to exceed your expectations. Trust Concrete to build a foundation for your future. Our work ethic and dedication are always in keeping the competition on their toes. We specialize in residential and commercial development in the Coosa, Talladega, and Shelby County areas. Call us today for your next project, 256-245-4211, or check us out on the web at con-crete.com.
There is a strength inside you, unknown and imperfect, waiting. And when you think you have nothing left to give, when each obstacle in your path is more formidable than the last, that's when you'll find it. And with that strength, your greatness will have no limits.
Summertime means savings time during the summer clearance event at Bice Motors. Save over $8,200 on a great selection of loaded new 2017 Chrysler 200 Limiteds. Was $25,705, now $17,500. Need a truck? Bice has new 2017 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Express 4x2s for $299 a month.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Don't miss the summer clearance event going on now. BiceChryslerDodge.com.
Hi, this is Quinn Harrelson with Interlink Mortgage in Auburn, Alabama. There are 1,000 different questions people ask me every day about mortgage loans. They ask about buying investment homes, primary homes, and even second homes at the lake or the beach. I only have a limited time to say, call me and let's talk about what you want and how I can help you get it. Again, win with Quinn and call me today at 256-675-6259 so I can help structure a mortgage that best fits you and your family's needs.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown here in the College Blitz segment of the program. Kind of piggybacking off what we were talking about, we'll continue this. And if you got some comments or questions or something you'd like to say, give us a call, 256-234-6221, or go back to what I was talking about leadership. And that's really where it all starts. If you have a vision and a process, and I know we laugh on the Auburn side, but you really shouldn't be laughing because you really should want to emulate what the best is doing. I mean, let's just be honest about it. Nick Saban has established that at Alabama. Look, Alabama was in the dredges. And Luke would call back and tell you. I mean, they went through 14 Mikes. You know, they finally decided if we won't hire Mike, we might be in good shape over here at Alabama. But, you know, Mike Price, they thought they had it with him, and Alabama had hit an all-time low. And, you know, fans were like, this is bad. And, you know, you go out and you do what you can to find the best guy out there. Who is that guy for Auburn? And number two, can people in Auburn please let whoever you find please actually run the program? Get your fingers out of the cake mix and get away from the program and let somebody take full reins. I think that's been the problem since Tommy Tuberville left, and I think Tommy Tuberville, the reason they wanted him gone is because he was a guy that demanded that. He was going to do things his way, and it rubbed some of the old heads the wrong way, and all the inner workings down there started to put together a way to get rid of him with Jetgate. Well, it didn't play out for Coach Tuberville. He hurt himself in a lot of ways toward the end of his career, but he's been the last thing we've had since Pat Dye with any type of consistency and, 9 wins, 10-win seasons, some SEC championships, some things that give you a feeling that every year we're going to be competitive and have a chance. Terry Bowden, lightning in a bottle, ends up leaving halfway through the season. You know, right off of an SEC championship appearance, if you'll remember, 97, come back 98, halfway through the year gone. You know, nobody since Pat Dye has, other than Tommy Tuberville, has presented long-term leadership and really kind of made his own way, kind of said, look, I'm going to leave when I get ready to leave. Gus Malzahn's sitting right here in the same situation that Gene Chizik was sitting in with his job on the line.
I'll say this. I think that after a while you may point at the coach, and yes, you can get the right leader in, but after a while you got to factor in that it's culture. It's something that's going on not only in the football program but potentially throughout the entire athletic
Look at it right now. I mean, just take the big picture. I mean, softball, Clint Myers. I don't know if Auburn sold out. I don't know what Clint Myers' past is. I don't know what Corey Myers' past has been at these other places. But obviously, they just said, look, we want to win at all costs. We'll come in and just do whatever you want to. We'll turn a blind eye to it. I'm not saying that's what happened with Clint Myers in the past, but obviously things weren't being run correctly at Auburn. He ends up leaving. You know, man's coached 40 years, and he goes out like that on a sour note. Look at the basketball program. Finally get a top 20 paid coach in the country in Bruce Pearl. $2.2 million a year. What has Auburn done since he's been there? He's going into his 5th year, Randy. Lots of great recruits, top recruiting classes, recruits that we've never seen the likes of at Auburn in the basketball program history. Where's the results on the floor? I've heard again this year, I think Auburn's really going to be good in basketball. I'm not going to say anything until I see results. I mean, I thought we were going to be pretty good last year. I guess we were mediocre, but we didn't even make a tournament. We didn't even go to the NIT last year.
We haven't made a tournament yet.
Since he's been there. So 5 years. Gus Malzahn in his 5th year. You know, what has he done since 2013? So I hate to be up here as an longtime Auburn fan. I'll always pull for Auburn. That's my team. You make an allegiance. You stick with it thick and thin. The good times are really good. But Auburn fans, as committed and as passionate as they are, deserve better. I'm sorry. They deserve better. You can spend all the money in the world. You can get the top-ranked recruits. You can mask things only so long. You got to have a culture that breeds success. And you got to start. Alabama had gone away. Alabama's got a ton of tradition. But when you get a few guys in there that don't buy in and don't do things the right way, they were barely having winning seasons and struggling and animosity and players getting arrested and people wanting to leave. It doesn't matter. It's all about what you have at the top, and right now Auburn has struggled to find that, but I think it has a lot to do dig deeper into the issue with who's around that program that's not allowing it to be successful.
256-234-6221. Love to hear from you out there. It's Auburn and Missouri today. Missouri is 1-2, Auburn 2-1. Alabama and Vandy, both teams undefeated. Derek Mason really turning some heads this point, especially defensively. Got a couple more minutes left here on this segment, but a 6:30 p.m. kick. If you look down through here, Missouri, winners against Missouri State, but they really got drummed a couple of weeks in a row. They've lost to South Carolina 31-13 and Purdue 35-3. I know this is a Purdue team that takes on Michigan today. Michigan in the top 10. First time Purdue and Michigan have met with Michigan in the top 10 since 2000. And there's one denominator right there with the 2000 games, Drew Brees. And Purdue wins 32-31 in that one, and that's the last time that we've seen a victory for them. So that's a huge game on the front today. But offensively for Auburn, can they get off the mat? Can they play well? Turnovers were an issue last week, put a lot of yards up. Your expectation today, Brett, or at least your hopes? Not much.
Well, no. I mean, against a team like Missouri, you better have high expectations. I mean, this team's playing on one leg. I mean, they have no defense at all, none to speak of. And they've got a quarterback that's pretty good, but Auburn's number 2 overall in defense in the country right now. Behind who? Vanderbilt. Isn't that crazy? So Auburn's strength is defense, shutting down the only thing that they have is offense. The cameras are going to be on Auburn's offense. What can this offense do? Can it find an identity? You talked about that so many times with Brett Bielema and all these other schools and can't find their identity as a program, and it shows in the results. Well, Auburn's right there in the same boat. I mean, you got all this talent around, but you can't figure out how to use it or what you want to do or what your calling card needs to be. Auburn needs to decide they're going to be, if they're going to be a run-first offense, go up there and establish the line of scrimmage with the offensive line and run to set up the pass. Or if you're going to throw it 40 times, go out there and figure out how to spread the ball around to all these 4- and 5-star receivers. And no offense to Will Hastings, he's a playmaker, always makes plays, but he's the leading receiver outside of who else is on the team? Ryan Davis, who has caught 19 passes, but Will Hastings, your next go-to guy, and he's a walk-on. I know he's got a scholarship now, but he's a walk-on. So you got 4- and 5-star guys, and you keep finding Will Hastings. So there's just a lot of discombobulation on the offensive side of football. Auburn needs to look like they mean business. If they want to be a contender this year. This is the first SEC game. All the goals are still intact. You got to go out and show it. We got to get the break here. When we come back, we'll break some more of this game down, talk about matchups around the SEC here today. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Looking for the area's best one-stop shop? Foshi's Watts is where to go. Foshi's Watts has non-ethanol gas for you boaters and you lawn care guys. Although cutting the grass is less fun than going to the lake, you can also get live bait and tackle, cold beverages, and they have fresh biscuits starting at 5 a.m. and the best candy prices in town. You can even fill your propane tank and get a bag of everybody's favorite pellet ice for only $1.50. Get it all at Foshi's Watts on Dadeville Road in Alex City, the area's best one-stop shop. Lakeside Marina and Watercraft Rentals have spring fever and are happy to announce that Bennington is back. Lakeside Marina at Blue Creek is now Lake Martin's Bennington pontoon dealer with all models of Bennington pontoons that deliver speed, power, and stability with their elliptical sport packages and best-in-class styling and luxury. See the full line now for best selection as well as the all-new personal watercraft from Kawasaki. Lakeside Marina at Blue Creek, #1 for a reason. Lakeside Marina is also your authorized Easy Go kart dealer for Lake Martin.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a Trusted Choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Did your team just win the big game? Are you looking for a unique way to honor a valuable employee? Lila's Engraving has you covered, offering a large selection of custom trophies and plaques. Lila's also offers cast aluminum car tags, custom engraved wine glasses, clocks, and wood cutting boards. They even offer custom framing for any art or picture as well. Lila's combines the best quality items with the fastest service around. With over 27 years of experience in the Alexander City and Lake Martin areas, Lila's Engraving is your only choice for custom awards and engraved gifts. Always remember, winners choose Lila's.
LMG Advertising Agency offers a comprehensive marketing solution tailored to each of our clients' needs. We are a full-service marketing firm offering website design and development, video production, social media marketing, search engine optimization, and overall branding that includes logo design, brochures, mailouts, and more. Our experienced team of marketing professionals would love to come up with a marketing strategy that will deliver results for you and your business. Learn more at lmgadagency.com or call today to start at 256-825-0197.
Whether it's a walk-off home run, a game-winning touchdown, or a buzzer beater, make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup. Located in downtown Sylacauga and a short drive from Highway 280, Jay's has the food you're looking for. Whether it's wings, fingers, burgers, or salads, they have it all. Come bring your family for a great meal, come hang out with your friends for the big game, or call them at 256-207-0700 to place your order. Make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Peaches and Clean, caring for your floors and a whole lot more in East Central Alabama.
Welcome back into the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air over in the Dadeville and Lake Martin market. Brett, you're just tuning in out there. It's 8:27. Know many of you are just probably finding us. Big victory last night here in the local community. Benjamin Russell defeating Opelika 19-14. It was a great close of the football game for Opelika to get back in that thing, Brett, and just a wonderful win for this community and good to get off the mat because that's been where we've been against Opelika the last several years.
Yeah, we have been, and again, it was a situation to where this is a rival game that we were leading 36-32. And 3 in the series all time, get that 37th victory, but they had really closed the gap, winning 9 of the last 11 against us, so they had really closed the gap. And we had really not looked to be the formidable opponent that we once were. We had some close games. I know in 2015 it was a 45-26 win for Opelika. It was uncharacteristically high-scoring affair in that matchup. But they had a talented team. We had a talented team, and both teams ended up making tremendous runs in the playoffs. And both of us getting knocked out by that Spanish Fort team, ironically, that year. But the bottom line is Benjamin Russell showed that some great days ahead, the talent's there. Moving forward on into the program, gets a big win, really dominated the football game. I'm not saying anything. I don't think anybody would disagree with 2:58 on the clock. It was 19-0, and we were punting the football back to an Opelika team that really wasn't even trying to call timeout. I mean, they had pretty much – we ran the ball on first down and got 3 yards, and they didn't stop the clock. And on second down, we fumbled the ball. We were able to go back there and get on it. Landon was able to fall on the football. They call a timeout there because they said, okay, now it's third down. And then they call a timeout to third down and force us to punt out of the end zone. And like lightning in a bottle in football, you get a line drive punt just trying to get it out of there and not get it blocked. One of a dangerous return men for Opelika catches it and runs across the field, catches a couple good blocks, runs it in for a touchdown. What do you do then? You line up 2-point conversion, you get it. You line up for an onside kick, you get it. 2 plays later, you throw a 45-yard bomb. You catch it like Florida did against Tennessee, and you look up on the clock, there's 1:01, and it's 19-14 now, and they're lining up for another onside kick. And you're like, this might be the best high school comeback of all time we're seeing. And it's about to be against us, and you're like, this isn't how this was supposed to go when you dominate a game for almost 4 quarters. Got the onside kick and finished the game off. Tyler Watt's able to recover it. But, that just shows you the guts for Opelika. They were dead in the water, 19-0, embarrassed, about to go back down 280, and they said, no. He said, we got some fight left in us.
Tough injury for Opelika last night, and hopefully that young man's up and well today. We haven't been able to hear. He was carted off. Was that in the third quarter, Brett?
It was.
Yeah, and so hopefully we'll get positive news from over there. Several other players for Opelika going down. I don't think many of them were serious injuries. At least it didn't look like it.
Quarterback went out late in the game with an arm.
Shoulder probably.
Yeah, he was holding his left arm like this, and I don't know if it was his forearm he was grabbing or if it was shoulder trying to stay in place. So. Regardless, it was a physical game. It's what you expected. Several times last night, both teams had players on the field, that were down, temporarily, were able to get up and come off. And that's what you get in this kind of matchup.
Great night for our player of the game last night was Jaden Tuck. He was the best player on the field in the first half, no question.
Far.
Made a lot of big plays to close things out. Our offensive line played extremely well, and David Heron made a play there in the third quarter to really win the thing. It was a 35-yard touchdown run up the middle of the field and changed the dynamic of the game, taking us out to a 2-score lead.
I think the play before might have been as important as any play. It was fourth down and inches. Wildcats went for it, I think, 3 times on fourth down last night and got it all 3 times. In crucial moments of the game. In any moment in that type of game is crucial. But 4th and inches, Benjamin Russell, they had just gone for it on 4th down, and they fell down in the backfield. We get the football, then we turn around and go for it. We get it. And you can just feel like last week, the week before against Pelham, that the dam was about to break. And we're starting to get a little push in the interior in the type of hard runner that David is, that he was going to bust out. And you made mention on the air that he's a guy that just keeps his feet moving. It's hard to bring him down. Well, he took on that first hit and was able to shed that block, and then got back there in the secondary, and he was able to get by him and take it in for a touchdown from 35 yards out. That was a crucial part in that game.
Yeah, wonderful night of high school football around the state of Alabama, and there'll be a big one next week as well. And we're looking forward to it, and thank all of you for tuning in to the logo behind me, the AHSA Radio Network scoreboard show that was on over 20 radio stations last night. We got a couple of minutes left here in this segment as I've got some updates coming through. Auburn and Missouri played for the SEC title in 2013. Right. Since then, Auburn is 25-18. Missouri's 22-20. Both of these programs mediocre at best since that 2013 SEC championship.
Both were
game.
11-1 that year going into that game, too.
From 2012 to 2017, Auburn is 37-5 when out rushing their opponent. Missouri is 33-5 when out rushing their opponent. So look at that today. Which one of these teams can own the line of scrimmage and run the football? Auburn is 3-22 when they don't, and Missouri is 5-24 when they don't. So who can run the football? When you look down at these stat totals for both of these offenses, Auburn averaging 178.3 yards rushing per game, which is right in the middle of the conference, sitting there at number 8. Missouri averaging 180.7 yards rushing per game, which is slightly ahead of Auburn at 7. So if there's a stat to look at today on the road at Missouri is which one of these teams can run the football.
That smelled like a rancid can of sardines to me. So I don't know. Hey, look, forget the numbers. If Auburn, Missouri is not supposed to be a contender, Auburn was supposed to be a contender. They've got a loss to Clemson. They came back last week against an FCS opponent in Mercer and looked terrible. They moved the ball up and down the field. You don't get points for yards. They turned the ball over 5 times. They won 24-10. And frankly, to me, it was an embarrassing performance all the way around. Regardless of what's happening with coaches, players need to have a little bit of self-pride in themselves and go out there and perform, because it still is a phenomenal opportunity to be able to play major Division I college football. So you can cry in your cereal over here, or you can get out there and play and be a dominant player like you were recruited to be. Auburn needs to do that today if they want to get back in the talk of maybe being relevant in the SEC, because they ain't played an SEC game yet. And for Auburn fans right now, it seems like the season's over. It does to me. They got to do something to change that mindset of everybody. All the goals are still in place. You know, in 2013, when Auburn lost to LSU, nobody thought Auburn would be in a national championship game. Nobody in the country. You're just like, well, at least it was better than 12. At least it was a better effort. And we came back and showed some fight in the second half. That whole team decided to buy in, and it changed the whole landscape of the season. Can Jarrett Stidham become a leader on offense? Can this offensive line gel? Can we own the line of scrimmage like you just said, and can we move forward here? This is a big game. It wasn't supposed to be, but this is a benchmark game to determine where Auburn will go from here.
256-234-6221 up against a break. More Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Is our number one concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's Train dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our number one concern. Call 234-5052, and we're there for you.
Hi, this is Quinn Harrelson with Interlink Mortgage in Auburn, Alabama. There are 1,000 different questions people ask me every day about mortgage loan. They ask about buying investment homes, primary homes, and even second homes at the lake or the beach. I only have a limited time to say, call me and let's talk about what you want and how I can help you get it. Again, win with Quinn and call me today at 256-675-6259 so I can help structure a mortgage that best fits you and your family's needs.
Game day. Last season you were watching football at the mercy of that loathed cable company and your weird roommate with the ornery chinchilla. But today you're going to watch wherever the Wild you want. You go here, Wild Wind Cafe. They've got all the games on more screens than you can count, and cute roommates. This is just the Wild you need. So go wild, superfan. We can't help you choking QB, but we do have cold beer.
So you want to build a home, Build the home you want with America's Home Place. Choose from over 150 floor plans, then personalize. Tile backsplash with granite countertops? Done. A spacious bathroom you've always dreamed of? You got it. Choose every detail, floors, cabinets, even the paint color.
How about electric lime?
Can't decide? Relax. At America's Home Place, we take care of it all. It's your home. Own it. America's Home Place.
Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gills. Selection and price, got to get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills. Cars that fit your budget. Service that no one around can beat. Stop by today and test drive the vehicle of your dreams. Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance you, gotta get to Gills. Selection and price, gotta get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills.
What do you see when you think about your future?
Do you see determination that keeps you going, that helps you make a difference in your world?
Do you see challenges that make you stronger?
Southern Union State Community College realizes that your opportunities for greatness are unlimited. Your journey has just begun.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Hyundai of Auburn. You owe it to yourself. Call Hyundai of Auburn today at 334-321-0777 and visit them online at HyundaiofAuburn.com.
Welcome back into the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown. SEC coaches buyouts. You and I brought that up in a previous segment. Will you tell me how an agent negotiated this one? SEC coaches buyouts. Eddie Orgeron, $12 million.
I don't.
How in the world was anybody else after him?
No, they weren't.
$12 million in 2017, $8.5 million in 18, $6 million in 19, and $4.5 million in 20.
All right.
Where am I missing
Okay.
something?
Listen. Here's what I think. Now that I've actually been able to process this, they did not even think about envisioning firing him after 1 year. Okay, so putting a $12 million buyout out there is kind of like, okay, if we fire you, you deserve it because we made a terrible decision here. Ed Orgeron coming in with the talent that they've got down there, I know they're not superior at the quarterback position, but I really think when they signed that, both parties said, okay, put the number down on paper. We ain't firing him after 1 year. I don't think anybody thought Ed Orgeron would get fired at LSU after 1 year. What does it go down to?
I would have said
what does it go down to?
$8.5 million in year two.
That's even stupid in itself. But I don't think they.
Did you watch his tenure at Ole Miss?
Yeah, I did. But he had a lot. He's got a lot more talent at LSU, and you can look at some coaches that have won down there just by spite, just by having better players than other people. And look, the SEC, frankly, the expectations were them to finish runner-up behind Alabama.
And they just got run out the gym.
By Mississippi State. So things change. Things change. Now that $12 million comes into play.
$12 million.
They won't fire him this year.
Brett billed him $15.4 million through 17, 11.7.
What did it start at? If it was 17.4 this year, he's been there for 5 years. What did it start out, 40? That gum. If this is a law of diminishing returns, then if we're at $17 million now, I don't know where it started.
SEC coaches buyouts. Kevin Sumlin, $11.2 million. I get this one. He had some leverage after the Johnny Manziel years, the moving over to the SEC.
One player can give you a lot of leverage. Auburn ought to know about that. Gene Chizik should tell everybody about that. Gus Malzahn should tell everybody about that. One player can really earn you a lot of money. Gene Chizik was earned a lot of money by Cam Newton. Gus Malzahn earned a lot of money with Nick Marshall. It is what it is. And Kevin Sumlin earned everything he earned with Johnny Manziel.
Butch Jones, $11 million. $6 million to Jones, $8 million to the rest. $5 million for his staff.
Yeah.
Butch Jones at $11 million. Does he hold on this year, Brett?
The rumor was this week about somewhere around Tuesday is that there was a chance he could not even be coaching this weekend. So I would say no. I would say that Tennessee, something up there, there's some people, some higher-ups that are ready to part ways with Butch Jones now. So that doesn't look good. So if you're in week 3 of the season and you got some players, that the bigger players in the program deciding that they want you gone, probably not.
Gus Malzahn, $6.7 million, $4+ million for the staff, so almost $11 million buyout for Gus Malzahn. Who's on the hottest seat, Brett?
I think there's 3 equally hot: Texas A&M, Auburn, and Tennessee.
Arkansas is not as
hot. I don't think anybody who you gonna get at Arkansas, man. It is it's hard to recruit there. I mean, it's inherently hard. It's almost like maybe the hardest place outside of Missouri in the conference to recruit, because you're stuck between, you're in that area where you're in the SEC, but you feel so far away from the SEC because most of the talent's down here in the bottom portion of geographically, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, in Louisiana down here. Arkansas, I know you touch Louisiana, but man, you still up there in the Midwest. You got a Midwest feel to you, and you come from an area where really the Big 12 is you're competing really against another conference. So you have to find that special player that wants to play in the SEC for that exposure. I think Brett Bielema I think Arkansas is like, well, man, we just got this guy, and we thought he's going to be better. I don't think that he's as hot. I'm not saying his seat's not hot, but it's not as hot as Kevin Sumlin, Gus Malzahn, and Butch Jones. I mean, that's my opinion. Those 3 guys, it's blazing. It's the whole thing's like engulfed in flames. And because they're just not living up to expectation, man. Tennessee fans, Auburn fans, and A&M fans deserve more, man. They do. I mean, they deserve more return on their money than what they're getting out of these guys. They're just not getting it done, man. Alabama, you can put an asterisk by them this decade for what they've been able to do. But for Auburn fans, I think, and I broke this down, somebody told me I hit the nail on the head with this. It's not about what Auburn's been doing against Alabama. Yes, it's your rival, and you want to play well against them year in and year out, but you want to be competitive. The problem with Auburn is all these other mediocre teams we've been playing that we've been letting beat us. Georgia, what have they done the last 3 years? They've been terrible too. We've lost to 2 of the worst Georgia teams I never remember the last 2 years. Okay, Clemson, yeah, you've held them to 19 and 14, the lowest point totals they've been held the last 2 years by anybody. Offense didn't even get on the bus, showed up to play. You go 2-1 against LSU. You look terrible in the Sugar Bowl against Oklahoma, and you get beaten overtime by Wisconsin on some bad coaching, by the way, in that game. So you're 2-11. That stat Justin sent to me that I can't get over, that's what that equals out to. And so the problem is Auburn, in the meantime, should have been going 9-3, 10-2, or 11-1. And playing Alabama competitively. That's not unrealistic with the talent they've been getting and the rest of the SEC. But you know what Auburn's been doing? 8-5s. Birmingham Bowl. Play Memphis. I mean, is that where you want your program? And for all of these Auburn fans that get on our board out there on Auburn Blitz and that make comments on all these other boards and go, well, man, you just need to give them time. Time, 5 years. And if you're accepting 2-11, if that's where you want your program, I'm about to send you a message. Go find another team to pull for, because that's not what I expect out of Auburn. If you're happy with 2-11 and, oh, well, it's Auburn, we'll be okay, go pull for somebody else. Because that's not what my expectations are. So we got to get to break. Come back, we'll close the show out. Stay tuned, more of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Why buy your next car from Lynch Nissan of Auburn?
you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
When you're born, you're really young. You're like 0 years old. My grandma tells me to quit growing up so fast. But what can I do about it? My mom keeps throwing me birthday parties.
Russell Medical, comprehensive care in your corner of the world.
Show Enough Barbecue. Since 1990, we've been serving you the finest barbecue in Alexander City. Gerald believes in cooking fresh meat daily, and the secret to that is, I'm not going to tell you. Show Enough is just not about barbecue, but also known for fresh vegetables and homemade pies. That's where I come in. I'm Linda Sanford, better known as the Pie Lady. We also do catering. For more information, give us a call at 234-7675.
Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. At Walls, you'll find a dedicated staff offering top quality service from routine maintenance to a full engine overhaul and everything in between. Brian Walls and the folks at Walls Tire are local folks that you know, and they provide the best service, always at a fair price. Find out what the rest of the Lake Martin area already knows. Walls Tire is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. Just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City. This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Russell Do-It Center, offering a complete assortment of lumber, building materials, electrical, and plumbing supplies. Russell Do-It Center stores deliver first-class service, top-rate products, and competitive do-it-best pricing.
Welcome back to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown. A few minutes left in today's show. We've got some comments coming in. Thank you. Appreciate all of you out there watching and listening today on Saturday. Some matchups around the SEC for the Juggernaut Tennessee Volunteers. They got UMass coming in at 0-4. You want to talk about one that, you wake up at 11 o'clock, watch that one. You better find something else to do. Texas A&M 2-1. Arkansas, this is at AT&T Stadium.
That's a big game.
Texas
big game for both programs.
Yeah, and Texas A&M just finds a way to win that game every year. Arkansas ain't beat them yet. So, I don't know. Brett Bielema's seat could explode if they don't win this one or if they don't play competitively in this game. La Tech at South Carolina at 2:30. I'm going to tell you, you better watch this one.
Yeah.
You better watch this game here on the SEC Network, coming off a loss to Kentucky. This La Tech, and I looked at South Carolina's schedule, by the way, and they got about a 4-game stretch, including this game. It's going to be rough. So everybody, including myself, that was starting to drink the South Carolina Kool-Aid, just hold on a minute. They got a tough road to navigate.
2 notes: they can't run it a lick, and that does not bode well in the SEC.
Not in this conference, it does.
Debo Samuel's out, so their big-time playmaker who's made plays in the return game, receiving the football, all kinds. Debo Samuel's out. They still have a tremendous quarterback in Bentley, but my gosh, when you're
one-dimensional, man, it's not good. Alabama at Vanderbilt 2:30 on CBS. Like Luke said.
Luke said 45-3.
I agree. I think he's spot on. Here's the game of the week in the SEC. Number 17, Mississippi State at number 11, Georgia. 6 o'clock on ESPN, the Battle of the Bulldogs. A lot will be found out tonight about Kirby Smart and his team at home. They've got a tough football team in Mississippi State coming in. Stingy defense, phenomenal quarterback, can run the football well. This is a well-rounded. Mississippi State, they win this game. They're one of the hottest teams in the country, one of the best teams in the country coming into Auburn next week.
Yeah, I've told you that I'm a Mississippi State fan outside of Auburn right now because they're coming into the state of Alabama and just cherry-picking those talented players that we're not offering. One will be LaDamian Webb this year, who will probably leave the state as two-time leading rusher here in the state of Alabama and head on over there, as he had over 50 touchdowns last year. I'm not saying that Auburn, Alabama should offer. I'm just saying that they don't. He ends up over there like Keith Mixon from Shades Valley that's putting on a show. You and I called an Alabama-Mississippi game, 2 years ago?
That's right.
And Mississippi State had more commits than Auburn and Alabama from Alabama's roster.
That's right.
Didn't they have 5 that year, Brett?
They did. Starting to see that more and more here in the last few years. Syracuse at LSU. Ed Orgeron better take care of business. LSU 2-1. Syracuse 2-1. That game's on ESPN2 at 6 o'clock. Florida at Kentucky. Kentucky has not beaten Florida in 30 years. That's right. You heard that right. They have not beaten Florida in 30 years. And if there's ever a time that they're primed to lose, it's in this one. On the road at Kentucky. Kentucky playing really good football. I think they may have more firepower on offense right now. I'll just be honest about it. And finally, last but not least, Auburn 2-1 at Missouri, 1-2, 6:30 on ESPN. You better go up there and do what you got to do to take care of business. You better not go up there and kick a field goal and win 17-14. That's not what you're looking for. That is not the result that we're trying to aim for. You better go up there and win 48 to 10, 48 to 16, something like that. You better go up there and have a dominant performance on offense, or it's not going to get any easier. This is it. Been a great show. We want to thank everybody for watching and listening. For Randy Lee and our producer Justin Clayton, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. Well, yeah, see you next week.
Even the best of us forget sometimes. But buckling up is one thing you always want to remember.
Seatbelts save lives. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
In car ads, what is this? It discloses what you're not going to get that you thought you were. At Hyundai of Auburn today, buy a Santa Fe SUV. Get $4,250 bonus cash, period. Here's our disclosure.
Hyundai of Auburn's your straight talk dealer. $4,250 to spend however you'd like. Plus, most Hyundai of Auburn cars are built locally. Free major repairs for 10 years. Supporting the local economy and thousands in bonus cash to spend. Compare. HyundaiofAuburn.com.
Lake Area Realty is Lake Martin's Century 21 real estate company that proudly serves all the Lake Martin area. Rhonda Gaskin and her staff of caring professional realtors offers full sales for buyers and sellers in the area and can even help you with finding rentals or managing your current property. Whether it's your dream lake home, waterfront property, area family home in town, or just a starter home, Lake Area Realty can handle it all and advise you on all your needs. Buying and selling real estate is important to the professionals at Century 21. Lake Area Realty are your friends in real estate. Call or visit lakearearealty.net.
Your comfort is our number one concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's train dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our number one concern. Call 234-5052, and we're there for you. Homeowners all over Alabama have discovered that when you need your flooring clean, whether it's carpet, upholstery, or any manner of hard surfaces, there's no clean like Peaches and Clean. Serving Auburn, the Chattahoochee Valley, Montgomery, Birmingham, and the Lake Martin area. Call 866-837-6937. 866-837-6937. Or visit peachesandclean.com. Caring for your floor and a whole lot more.
There's no clean like Peaches and Clean.
The Car Stereo Shop in Auburn is more than your car audio and video headquarters. Everything you ever wanted for your boat, including speakers, amps, and subs from brands like Sony, Kenwood, Memphis, Kicker, Polk Audio, power speakers from Kicker, Skyline, and Wet Sound, underwater lighting from Ocean LEDs and Shadowcaster, and for your ATVs, side-by-sides, and motorcycles, the best in power sports products and lighting. How about a custom tailgating package or a custom-built mobile office? Where your imagination becomes reality, the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn.